Screen. So welcome guys to this very special webinar. I'm your host Amanda from Proboxx. This webinar is hosted by and sponsored by Proboxx, your all-in-one digital logistics provider where you can manage your quotes, your shipments, your reports, your documents, all in your personalized digital portal. And today we have the Steven Selikoff coming to you live from the International Toy Fair in New York. Welcome, Steve. So good to see you.
So good to see you again, Amanda. It's been a fun, hectic, wonderful time here.
I can imagine. Now tell me, why toys? Why are you at the toy fair?
So first, just gonna let you know we are in a members area here sponsored by Mattel. So we've got Mattel stuff all over the place, but I'm not here for Mattel. I'm here for my own students who are selling not only on Amazon, but expanding to retail. And the reason to come to events like this, like the Toy Fair, like Super Zoo or Global Pet Expo or Foods West or the Inspired Home Show. I want to say International Home and Houseware Show. That's what it's been for years. The Inspired Home Show or these other trade shows. Or ECRM or America's Mart and so on, is to put your products in front of retailers. Retailers, the buyers, they want to see something new. They want to see something exciting. They want to make money. And if they have a product on their shelves that customers want to buy, then they're going to make money. Your job is to put a product in front of them that customers want to buy. And it's that simple. I got a wonderful text, and that was, oh my goodness, I was at the airport about to get on the plane to come here, and I got a text from a couple of people in Australia just saying, I want to bring you up to speed in what we're doing, paraphrasing here. But we've been following what you've said step by step, and they decided to go into some stores to see if they want to sell the product. Which they did, and they got 10 stores. They're running about a 95% yes rate, and they're amazed because they understand keystoning now, something I taught them about, which basically means that if you see something on the store shelf for $50, the store is going to pay $25 to you. If you see it for $100, they're going to pay $50 to you, and so on. They doubled the price. So they followed the keystoning rule, and they believed in their product. And now they are selling a lot. In fact, their question to me was about how do you deal with the manufacturer to get good rates, because now they're selling a lot of them and they're making more money than they are on Amazon. It's not rocket science.
I think that's why when we were talking, and one of my questions to you was as well, like, there's such a bubble around e-com and online retail and Amazon, of course. And I know a lot of people kind of just get onto Amazon, and especially when you're outside of the US, it's just like the holy grail really of online selling. And you were saying, like, for me as well, like, how do you as a Aussie living, abroad, or, you've got an online brand that's doing well, how do you actually get into approaching these retailers in the US to expand your brand and expand your sales? And that was the biggest thing. Let's talk about it.
So let's talk about it. First of all, there's no reason why you can't sell in Australia as well. And the text I just shared with you was 2 people from Australia who are selling in Australian stores now. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, I will tell you, in general, I've only been to Australia twice, but I've tried to stretch those out to as many weeks as possible because I love it. I've seen more independent and specialty retailer stores in Australia than in the US. They're more common, and those are easier because you can just walk in, ask them, they'll either say yes or no. They pay for shipping and everything else. But the way to get a retailer to sell your product begins with the product. It's got to be a product that they're going to like. How do you get in front of them? If you are interested in selling to big box stores and you have good history with your product on Amazon or an independent of specialties, you can reach out to them, email them, contact them, say this is what I'm doing and everything else, and then meet by Zoom. during COVID, before COVID, almost every meeting with a big box buyer was done in person. During COVID, they all had to go onto Zoom, and now they're more approachable. They're like, yeah, okay, we can. You're in Australia, let's talk on Zoom and talk about your product, which I have clients that have done. For independent and specialties, I wouldn't advise you to go into their stores all over the U.S. anyway. I mean, get them to fly into the U.S. and start making trips up and down the country, going to every small town, every big city, going to every store, flying them. No, it's a lot easier. You put together a sales force of sales reps, and that's one of the things that we teach you how to do. But on a high level, there are sales reps agencies in every region of the United States, and you get connected with those agencies. And then their sales reps go out there and they walk into a store. They may have a relationship with that store for 15, 20 years. And they say, hey, Jane, hey, Mark, how you doing? How's the baby? I got this great new product for you to sell. And if they buy it and sell it, then the rep gets a commission. So you basically don't pay the rep unless they make a sale.
Right. So they're working
And
on
it's
your behalf.
that difficult.
Yeah, right. And so they're kind of like an independent sales rep that you could reach out to, and they work on your behalf to get your product into the stores and get a commission on that if they end up taking your product in.
Right. And now that is more easily done if you at least come to the United States to start that initially. And then, of course, there are these shows like I'm at now, and these have distributors and independent specialty stores. In this case, toy stores. There are distributors and there are big box stores here as well. And as far as how do you do it if you're from Australia or someplace else, after we chat for a while, what I'll do is I'll pick up this phone and we'll walk through part of the show and you can see what it's like. And I've got two guys from Australia right now selling their products. They're from Australia and they're here selling them to retailers in the US.
Okay,
So,
great. So attending these types of fairs like you're at in the US or any type of kind of retail fair would be a great place to get in, meet people, make the connection.
Absolutely.
That way. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
My first product that really, really took off, and that's the one that was in Bed Bath and Beyond and others, took off because I showed the product at a pet fair, and then it was discovered, and it went off from there. So, yeah, these are great opportunities. Don't let the question mark of how do I get in front of a retailer stop you. That can be done. It's pretty formulaic. You find out where the retailers are, they're looking for products, and you put yourself in front of them. Whether it's in their office, like a big box store, whether it's at an event, you get there and you let them see it. They're going to say yes or no based on that product. And different types, big box stores take a longer time. They'll test it and so on. Small independent retailers, they'll say, yes, this day is Tuesday. Can you get it to me on Wednesday? It's that simple. It's not difficult. There shouldn't be a big, difficult, myth about it.
Yeah, it does seem like the big holy grail, I guess, for people who are selling online. And I guess the next question for me would be is, do you need to have sales history online and e-com before you go into retail, or could you develop a product and go straight into retail? Like, what is the general flow of zero to retail for most people?
So I've been talking about two different types of retailers, big box stores, and in Australia, that'd be Woolworths and Bunnings and so on. Here it'd be Target and Walmart and Home Depot and so on. And those, you do need to show some proof of sale. And you've got to show that you have the ability to logistically provide what they need on time and in full, and so on. But that's the high level. The lower level, the easier level, is selling online or selling to independent and specialty stores or both. And you can start online without being in independent and specialty stores, as everyone who sells on Amazon knows. And you can start selling to independent and specialty retail stores without being online, as everyone who started in retail knows. And that was actually my path back in 2001. So either one of those, you get sales, you get the kinks worked out of the system, and you can prove that people actually want to buy it. And that then lets you take that step to the bigger retailers. But either one of them work, and both have their advantages.
Yeah, I think when we were chatting last, some of the stats you gave me in the US market, which is also why I always think US, because it's just such a bigger market. But yeah, I think with those larger franchise stores that we have here, they would be doing huge numbers, like Bunnings, Woolworths, Coles. They would be, pretty big. But I just wanted to share with the audience that you shared with me that the toy niche in the US is worth $30 billion, but only 16% of that is online, and only 6% of that is Amazon. So that was just mind-blowing for me to realize that there's such a huge untapped market out there of retail.
There is. And there are other, like if you go to China, everything's done online, including paying for things. You pay for it on your phone on WeChat or Alipay Pay or so on.
Yeah.
It is very much technologically up here, and the United States is still down here. New York Times did a thing, and they pointed out that out of every $100 people spend on stuff, $5 is on Amazon.
Yeah.
People still go to stores. They like to look through. They like to pick things up, touch them. Younger people, I mean, you can't go to any store or mall and see a teenage kid by themselves. They're always in groups, little posses. And they shop together and they look at each other. Oh, I like it. I don't like it, whatever, and that's how people do it. It's a social shopping thing.
Yeah, totally. So I guess if we were to talk about expanding into retail, we're already an established Amazon seller or e-com seller. When is the right time to expand? Like, when do most people start to take that next step?
I've got people who take it before they even step on Amazon, or if you're already established on Amazon, you should be thinking about retail right away. There's a few things that you want to do to get yourself ready to talk to retailers. If you've got a whole bunch of sales and reviews and so on, that's great. You print those out if you want to. Put those in your back pocket, because retailers love to see proof of sale. They're always concerned when they see that you sell on Amazon that you're going to try to undercut them. So just reassure them that this is the price, it's the same as the retail price, and that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But you can show that people are buying it and it's popular. What you need to do to your product, though, that's a little bit different. Your product has to have retail-ready packaging. That's critical. So online, your listing is where customers find out about you. They learn all about you. They understand what the product is. They can see it and so on. You don't get that luxury when you're in a store. You get 1/6 of a second. You got to get their attention.
Yeah.
You've got to communicate what the product is. So a great example is Airborne. Airborne is a homeopathic pill that you take to keep yourself healthy when you're on airplanes and so on. And now it's an entire brand. But they had to stand out against all of the sterile looking, keep your health type products. So when they launched with a product that just really glaringly made themselves different than anything else on the shelf, and people saw it, grabbed it, and looked at it. That's shelf impact.
Yeah.
Another thing you need to do is you need to make sure that that package immediately communicates what the product is. That's the descriptor. So if you've created sneakers that will levitate and let you float through the air, do you call those airways or something like that? People won't know what that is. But if you just simply say anti-gravity levitating sneakers let you float through the air, people will know what it is. And you have 1/6 of a second to get that across. Henry Ford introduced the processes of bringing cars to the masses, and he had to advertise them. He didn't advertise them as, hey, here's a car, or here's an automobile. He advertised them as, here's a horseless carriage. People understood that. So you want to be able to get people's attention, and you want to be able to describe what the product is, and then benefits sell. You have your flying sneakers, never wait in line again. Easy. Now you have what's the benefit to having a the sneakers. So if you can do that, get their attention, let people know what it is, communicate that effectively, let them know what the benefits are, then you've got retail ready packaging.
Okay, great. So that's a really good point, to actually have it as part of your strategy when you're building your brand, especially if you're going into.
Right. Exactly. Right on.
Are there any particular niches that are more appropriate for retail? Do you find, like, what does better than others?
Um, I would stay towards those niches that have a large audience. Pets, incredibly large audience. Toys have a very, very large audience. Housewares have a large audience. And just like everyone else tells you on Amazon, stay away from those things that are swamped, that are oversaturated. I mean, even here, there's a lot of sellers selling plush toys or stuffies or whatever people call them these days. But we used to call them stuffed animals. There's a lot of people selling them. And then when they're all basically the same, they're merely serving their current customers and looking for a few more. But if you've got something they don't have yet, then you can kill it in any niche. So don't go to the swamp niches. Don't go to the ones, don't do products within those niches that are oversaturated. Do something that's unique and differentiated and put it in the right package.
Yeah, so it's a very similar strategy to what you would do when you're launching a product on Amazon, is to make sure that something that's a little different, that's unique, that offers something that the other products don't, and really stands out. Like, make sure your packaging is amazing or have some sort of unique looking brand idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Okay.
big, the big mindset difference is understand that Amazon has no shelves, no physical shelves. So
Yeah.
you can have 100 cell phone cases on Amazon. Doesn't matter. It doesn't cost Amazon a penny. But if you get into a store and you have um, two or three of the same product or similar enough that the customer really could choose between one or the other, then the store doesn't want that because it's sale. They're only going to sell one of them. And if they have two or three products, they're going to cannibalize that sale of the one they already have on their shelf. So they don't want to have two or three or four of the same things for customers to choose between. They want one, and the customer buys it or not. And so, for example, if you're selling peanut butter and they already have peanut butter, unless you have a big famous brand that they're not going to care. But
Yeah.
if you sell jelly, now they don't have jelly and you're selling jelly. Number one, you're going to sell a lot of a jelly. Two, it's going to increase the sales of the peanut butter. And the peanut butter is going to increase the sales of your jelly. And then the bread guy is going to be super happy because people are buying bread and making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So it's different and it helps. That's helps sales of another product. That's golden right there.
Yeah. I find it interesting. So I do see a lot of new products hit the shelves in Coles, which is one of our main supermarket chains over here in Australia, which I find, quite innovative, and probably because they speak to me. I'm the target market. I love my supplements and my protein powders. But quite often I see them disappear. Like, they come onto the shelves and then they never restock. Is it because these guys who are, they have a lot of power, they sort of set the terms of the sales volumes? Like, if they say, if we don't reach X amount of sales, you're out. How does that work once it's on the shelf?
Good question. Works a few ways. One, what you're seeing might simply be a test, or they're putting out to see if they get a certain amount of volume or not. In which case it's just in there for a little bit.
Mm.
It could also be, and this happens a lot with Amazon sellers, is the fact that they don't have their supply chain and the infrastructure set up. Retailers expect something called OTIF, on time and in full. And this is new to a lot of Amazon sellers. So if a retailer says, I need to have this on March 15th, then you better deliver the entire product, the entire production run on the 15th. You can't say, well, my factory's running late and I'll have it to you on the 20th, or the, the ship is not reached the port yet, or we ran into a problem, or here's half. They don't
Wow.
want that. They'll immediately kick you out. But the nice thing is, if you do deliver on time and in full, so if you're dependable and you're the person on the shelf. Someone else comes along and says, well, we got a similar type thing with anti-gravity sneakers. No, we don't want you. We've got our person already and we're sticking with them. And that loyalty that you get because you're dependable from the retailers, that's just beautiful because it means you're not worrying about other new sellers coming along and trying to bring the price down or compete with you. You're their person and they'll
Okay,
stick with you.
that's refreshing.
Yeah, there's no black hat tricks either and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's no hijacking. So they don't set the terms of the sales. Like if they say, we really need it to be at this target for us to continue stocking. Is there any kind of negotiation that you can do?
Yeah, at the beginning, they're certainly going to say that's not a good price. The price has to be lower or whatever.
Yeah.
And you should have the price at a good market price. This is going to take the discussion in a different direction a little bit, but you'll see how it all fits together. You should know what somebody's going to pay for those anti-gravity sneakers. You should know that before you even go to your manufacturer. You should be talking to people. You should say, okay, people are going to say anti-gravity sneakers, we're going to pay $200 for that. So once you know how much they're going to pay, then you can turn around and you have your target price for manufacturing. And I say 7X because that's what works best with keystoning. That's what works best with a 50% margin or 100% markup. 7X. And these days, that's the same for Amazon as it is retailers. So if you know the retail price is going to be $200, then you know you have to manufacture it for about $2.85, a 7X, 7 times the manufacturing cost of the retail. So now when you get to the retailer and you say, I've got this wonderful new product, and it's going to be retailing for $200, you're selling it Keystone for $100 each. They're going to say, well, we don't know about the price. Let's do a test market order. Let them go ahead and do it. You already know you're at the right price. That's confidence.
Yeah.
And you can even say to them, yeah, absolutely. We did a poll here. Here's 300 people that we asked who all want the shoe and they're all willing to pay, this range, and the average is 200. And we think it's going to be really successful. And you're making a profit at that price. So you really shouldn't have to go into that negotiation or discussion with the retailer because it should be at the right price. Unfortunately, what a lot of people do on Amazon is they see a product and they talk to a supplier and they say, well, how much is this? And the supplier says it's $20. And they say, well, we need to have it less. The supplier might come down to $18 or $15. Okay. And then you put it online and you're saying, what can I do to make a profit out of this at 18 or 50? I'm going to sell it for $60 or $50 because everyone else is selling it. You're not making a profit. You might even be losing money. But when you have a product that's more unique, and other people are not out there, you can actually price it where customers want to buy. And then when you talk to your manufacturer, you can get it manufactured at the right price that you can make money. If you have another garlic press and the retailer or the manufacturer tells you, yeah, we're going to charge you $5 for it, and you say no, they know that there's 200 people behind you. We're willing to pay $5.
Yeah.
But if you turn around and say, we're doing these anti-gravity sneakers and no one else has them, they know if they say no, or they're just too hard at it when it comes to negotiation. If you walk away, they don't have someone else to turn to. They either have to play games with you or play the game with you or not. Otherwise, they're not going to get the job.
Yeah. So the other thing that I thought was interesting too when we were chatting, you said that with Amazon, the fees are just going up all the time. Like they seem to be every year they're increasing. Your margins just get smaller and smaller. But you were saying that with retail, that's different. Do you want to share why?
Yeah, there are certain there are program costs for large retailers, and those are pretty much set standard. And there's keystoning. The retailer is going to pay approximately half of what you see on the shelf, or they'll double what they're paying you. That's it.
That's it. No
That's it.
fees.
There's no PPC, none of the rest of that. It's just not there. So you know going in what you're going to be paying.
It seems so much simpler when you put it that way. You know, it seems to be a much easier way to get visibility on profit and growth when you're selling.
I was having a conversation this morning. I think I'm a relatively smart guy. And I'm about to exit a product that I do. Um, and I don't sell it on Amazon. I sell it to someone who sells it on Amazon because the complexity that's involved in Amazon these days is. I started in 2005. It was a flat file, and most pages didn't even have sponsored placement yet. I mean, it was simple. It was easy. And then over the years, Amazon found that they can make more and more money. Even FBA, because I joined right after FBA was announced of this service, not the FBA method. And it's because I worked at Microsoft, I had friends at Amazon. They said, look, we've got empty space in our warehouses and we're going to open it up to people. Do you want to join? This was September 2006. By October, I'd signed up. They were just looking for people to cover the cost of the empty space in the warehouses. These days, FBA is a revenue generating part of Amazon. PPC, in fact, fees and PPC are the fastest growing revenue stream within Amazon corporate. It's the complexity, the intelligence it takes to properly have the proper PPC strategy and everything else. It's difficult. It's complex. There are incredible people out there who know a hell of a lot. And either as a seller, you got to know it, you got to learn it, or find someone who does and can do it for you. And in retail, you don't do any of that. It's just you like the product, customers want to buy it. Great, let's do business.
It sounds so easy. I
It
guess
is.
like
It really is.
yeah, for a seller who wants to take that step though, I guess like where do you start? Where is the first step? Is there like can you just Google and find like a wholesale retail distributor list of people that you can just reach out to, or do you need to be in the know? Like what is the first step to take
So
to
let's
getting to make that?
let's talk about that for a moment, but I'm going to touch on one other thing that also is really nice about selling to retailers. When you sell to someone on Amazon, it's transactional. They buy it, and unless it's a consumable, that's it. Now, there's some really good strategies for being able to stay in touch with them as you bring out new products in the same niche. You let them know and they come back as customers. But on the base level, it's a buy and goodbye. It is a transactional process. When you sell to retailers, they become clients because they're going to buy, and if it's done right, they're going to buy. We'll talk about this in a second. If they buy more than one, obviously, and then they buy again and again and again. So if we use the example of baby blankets, they have pink and blue, and I get to say this because I snuck away last night to see my niece's new baby. It was the most adorable little thing. She's like 3.5 weeks old, tiny. So it's on the top of my head. So you have pink baby blankets and blue baby blankets and yellow baby blankets. And because you sell in bulk to retailers, you don't just sell one, you sell in multiple. Let's say you have 6 baby blankets per case pack. And that's what the inner cartons are when you do shipping plan. What's the master carton, inner cartons? That's your case pack is your case pack is your inner carton. So you have 6 per. So the retailer, instead of buying one baby blanket, they're going to buy 6 at a time. But they don't know if the next person coming in the door is going to buy because they've got a little baby boy, a little baby girl, or they don't know yet.
Yeah.
So they're not going to buy just one case pack 6 of the pink. They're going to buy 6, a case pack of the pink, of the blue, and of the yellow. So they're actually buying 18. And then let's say they sell 4 pink ones and 2 blue ones and 2 yellow ones. They only have 2 left of those pink ones. They're going to buy another case pack, another 6.
Yeah.
So it becomes a reorder, and a reorder, basically taking something that's not a consumable, a home textile, a blanket, and turning it into consumable because As a client, they are buying it again and again and again and again and again. And it really is a game of reorders.
Yeah.
And that's another beautiful thing because you make that one sale, they like it, they put it in the store, and then they reorder it again and again and again. So everyone here that makes a sale at this show, they're not making a one-time sale. They're making a sale that continues over and over again um, over the rest of this year and next year and the year after that and so on. So it becomes returning revenue, and that's another beautiful thing about retail.
Yeah, and I was just thinking then too how easy it would be to be able to stay in touch with a customer by having some way of getting them in to join an email list through an insert or something like that. Whereas I know with Amazon, it's very restricted on how we can communicate with the customer.
Oh no, you own the customer. You own the relationship. I
Yeah.
had I had a woman I was doing dog products, and she ran a charity that sold products to raise money for dogs for blind people. And gosh, we used to talk every 2 or 3 weeks, not just um for products reorders, but just how's it going and what's going on and stuff like that. And because we had a service dog in our home, and it was just you build relationships and friendships. You can't do that with big box stores. Anyone who tells you, "Oh yeah, use us, we're going to get you into big box stores. It's easy because we have all these relationships." No, the big box store buyer bought something based on a relationship, they would lose their job immediately. That's in the US and Australia and everything else. They can't accept. My goodness, Walmart, you can't even give a buyer from Walmart a bottle of water, Coca-Cola or something. It's against their policies. You can't give them a sample or anything. Um, but independent specialty, yeah, they're ones that become friends and they go to each other's weddings and stuff like that. Absolutely. It's so much easier. It's not restricted like on Amazon. You're 100% right.
Yeah, yeah, that's another benefit, I guess, as well. So, what was the question I had for you before about I've got
Oh, how do you contact them?
oh, yeah, yeah. How do we contact to make that first step? How do we find those people?
If you're selling pets, walk out your front door and walk to the local pet store. Ask them. If it's a chain, they say, we're a chain. The decisions are made up above, but we really like this, and talk to so and so. Or walk into one that's not a chain and they say, yeah, that's great. That's interesting. We'll try it. How much is it? And you say, this is the price and this is the case pack, and I've got it in the trunk of my car. You want it right now? Start.
Love
I
it.
did that. When I had my pet product, and I live in Seattle, I was up in Vancouver, Canada, and Granville Island, which is a great place to eat and enjoy yourself. Anyone in Vancouver knows what I'm talking about. And there was a pet store there. It's in an old train car. And I walked in, I loved their stuff. And they said, can I help you? I said, yeah, actually, I'd love to help you. I've got a product and I show it to you. And I did, and I made a sale right there, much to the chagrin of my wife, because she was there because we were going to see a show and everything else. And I was still thinking business. It's that easy.
Yeah, I guess that's when you just start hustling, don't you? It feels to me like you just if you've got something that you believe in and you're ready to get it out there, just take that first step, get into the stores, get on the phone. There's a saying like the friend of mine used to say, if you can't get in through the front door, go through the back door. So there's lots of ways to get connected
So
with that person.
absolutely just connect, believe in your product, believe in yourself.
Yeah, sounds amazing. And I love the fact that, with a retail, that cut and dried profit margin is there and it's not going to get marginalized like it does with Amazon. Such an appealing.
It's not going to get marginalized like Amazon does to you, and it's not going to be in a race to the bottom. And that's what happens when you have a whole bunch of suppliers selling the same thing on Amazon. They start competing by a lower price rather than by features and benefits.
Yeah.
So, 250 years ago, Adam Smith wrote the law of supply and demand. And I know I'm going to get like professorial here, but when you have the demand curve and the supply curve is rather stagnant. The demand curve is rather stagnant on Amazon. The supply curve gets shifted to the right every time a new supplier comes online or seller comes online. Those sellers are competing against each other. And Adam Smith said it in the law of supply and demand. That price is going to go down.
Yeah.
But in a retailer, They're not looking for other people to compete with you on the show. So it's there. And you don't have to wake up thinking, has somebody just shown up who's a new competitor or somebody that new competitor trying to underprice me? You don't worry about it.
Yeah, I love it. We've just had a little a guest to join. So Amelia, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll answer. I'll keep an eye on the chat box there if you've got a question for Steven and specifically. I know a lot of people have registered, but their time zone it's still a bit early for them. I think
and I know a few people have asked if it's going to be recorded, and I thank you very much for responding to that and letting them know.
You're welcome. Yeah, so we'll definitely send the recording out later today. Excuse me, it's 7 a.m. here, 7:30 a.m. here in Australia. So we'll send that out later today. And I'm wondering if you wanted to give us a little tour around before we.
Well, let me walk around here. I've got this thing on a tripod thing, so let's see if I can get this looking right. Okay, how do I do? All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's do this here. I'm in the members lounge, so I'm gonna walk out towards the main area here, and let's see. So there should be. I'm carrying a soda pop with me, so I'm gonna find a trash can as I walk through here. But so this is taking place in New York City at the convention center called the Javits Center. And this is, here we go. Let's just walk on through there. So I'm walking out of the members area and going onto the floor here. If I was good at Zoom, I would know how to flip this around so you can see the other camera, but thankfully this camera is enough. And you can see me here. So now it's going to get a little bit noisy.
Now, this is the largest toy fair in America, correct? The largest toy fair in the US or the world? No, it must be the US.
There's a bigger one in Germany that takes place in Nuremberg in February. And I will be there because I've got people that are starting to sell. So check this out behind me. I'm going to turn around here. These guys have all these super duper bubble things here. There they go. You see the bubbles?
Yeah.
And what they're doing is they are demonstrating.
Right, we're losing you on the Wi-Fi. We've lost you, Steven. I think we've lost him.
You see,
you're back.
It goes way, way down there. Can you see me?
Yeah, we just lost you on the Wi-Fi a little bit there. But yeah, it looks huge. And this is the place to be if you want to meet these big retailers. Is that right? They're all there as well.
Exactly. I mean, look at all these. There's so many cool things here.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, these are just cool things that you've not seen before. I've got for everyone who knows or not knows, you might recognize these people. We're on a podcast. You don't want to say hello. These are Paw Patrol. See, this is Paw Patrol. There you go. That rocks.
Hi, Paw Patrol.
Thank you. High five.
Love it. I guess it's also a great way to get inspired, isn't it? When you go to these events, you know, not just meeting retailers, connecting, networking, but getting ideas.
Absolutely. And if I can inspire a little bit over here, there's a couple where I'm from, where I used to live in Everett, Washington, and they started off making little vinyl pop-up dolls, and then that company became big. So you may recognize Funko. I think everyone knows what Funko is these days.
What is Funko?
But they were,
I don't know. What is that? It was hard to see.
Okay, so Funko, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But you guys definitely know who Funko is. Let me see if I have permission. Hi there. I'm just on a podcast right now, and I'm telling them about Funko. Can you step in for a moment? Excellent. So here we go. You'll see over my shoulder here, you'll recognize Funko immediately.
Oh yeah, I have seen these. So this is the name Funko. I'm
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
I don't have kids, so that's probably why. But I think my niece is into this stuff.
Oh, yeah. So Funko was husband and wife entrepreneurs, and they started their business and they started selling to stores and they grew bigger and bigger. And then they had an IPO. So now they're on the stock exchange and they're huge. And not only are they big here in the United States, they're big all over. If you go into JB Hi-Fi, they have an entire wall of them. If you go to airport, they have them all over.
Amazing. When
In
did they start?
Australia,
When did they start?
I think they started about 15 years ago, and
That's
they're growing. They grew and grew and grew.
the power of having that unique product, isn't it? And then getting
Oh,
distributed.
absolutely. And then here's another brand. You don't have kids, so you may not recognize the brand, but this is Little Tikes, which is very much of a recognizable brand. So all of these are big name brands and they're selling here. But then there's also entrepreneurs that are selling here who are just starting out. So let's see if I can, hopefully you can all hear me over all this noise.
Yeah, it's
But if we keep on going, um, let's see. I've got,
independent, somebody who's just starting out.
that's what I'm looking for here. So I've got one that I know. It's one of my Shark Tank folks. Shark Tank is like the Dragon's Den, but in the United States. Um, but here we go. These smaller ones are, you know, entrepreneurs just like anyone. Look at this. This is creativity and imagination, and these guys are oh cool. This is Matchstick Monkeys. You don't have to be a big major company to start here. Um, this is let's see. Cloud B, I think, is large. And these things you can see sold. They are the hot right now. And these are people that just started them off on their own. So your people, they can learn, they can do this. This is not impossible to do. It's really straightforward.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
in the section here. Keep going. I'm sorry. You talk because I may lose you in a moment.
yeah, I was just going to say though that I wanted to cover off as well that having people like you help. You've got a group of people that you actually coach, correct? Is that right? So you help them to
Correct.
their product into retailers. But also
Yes.
I know that you were and then people can maybe contact you to find out more about that. But I know that you also mentioned you were going to be offering a workshop in January about selling to retailers. Is that right?
Yes. So we're trying to figure out the timing on that. And I want to make sure that we've got good for you. So here's the deal. Um, we don't know the details yet on the workshop. Let me go this way. Um, but there's going to be a workshop on selling to retailers. But here is the code PROBX, and I'll send this to you so you can have it for your people.
Yeah.
PROBX 500. And you can use that for $500 off the workshop or off my regular program as well, which is a monthly program. So you can get $500 off of that. Try it out, check it out if that works for you, and so on.
Amazing. Thank you.
But just across the board, PROVX 500. So I'm going up the stairs here, or the escalator. And I'm going to try to get to another level. But as you can see, this is
Oh,
gigantic.
huge. Yeah.
And actually, I don't know if you can see out the window there, but the Empire State Building is in the distance there. So
Looks like a
it's
big day there.
all New York, New York.
Very exciting. I wish I could be there now. It's really inspiring to see this, Stephen. So thank you so much for sharing this with us, because I think it really just helps give people who are just not sure where to start, what's available, that inspiration and motivation to get started and to sort of join these fairs and get into networking and meeting these retailers.
And it's not just toys. This is a toy fair.
Yeah.
But there's also Super Zoo for pets and Global Pet Expo for pets. And there are food ones. And there's I always stumble on this, the Inspired Home Show, which used to be called the International Home and Houseware Show for years. I have to get used to the new name. But all of these are also shows. The hardware show, the baby show. These are all big established shows. And
No, we've lost you again. Are you there, Stephen? Hello.
that.
Hi.
It's not, you get all these fancy things behind you, you set it up like this. And sure, that costs money, but reality, it's less than what they're asking for at like Amazon events. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. And again, this is just
for a little bit,
one way.
So we just lost your audio for a little bit, so we're just not sure.
1, 2, can you still hear me again?
Yeah,
I'm just going to talk. Okay, good. Yeah, I was just saying that it's not, it's not crazy expensive. Certainly these big giant booth things are, but you don't need to do that to start off.
Yeah.
It all begins if you've got a good product, then the size of your booth is not going to be the determiner whether or not customers, retailers want to buy it. And retailers make their decision, based on whether customers.
Lost you again. I think you were saying it's based on whether the customer wants to buy. Are you there, Stephen? Lost you.
You've got a couple of, see all these people
Lost
up and down these aisles?
Sorry, Stephen.
Okay.
We lost you again. So we lost
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so the people you see up and down these aisles, they're retailers looking to buy. But you asked earlier about how does someone from Australia sell? So these two guys are from Australia. Say hi, we're on a podcast right now.
Hi from Australia.
He's saying hi from Australia. And these guys are just like you. They started with a great product on Amazon, and now they are expanding out to retailers and distributors, right? Yeah. So retailers and distributors.
We'd love to hear more of your story. Maybe we need to get you guys on the next webinar.
So she's saying in my ear that maybe they should get you guys on the next webinar. So they're saying yes, because they're Australian and they're friendly and they're nice.
Tell them to reach out. Hit us up.
I will make that introduction. So this is the reality of the toy fair, and this is the reality of just, again, if you believe in your product, you've got the packaging, you incredible packaging these guys have. This is the reality, is just expand out into retail, because Amazon's part of the game. You want to succeed there, but no reason to ignore succeeding in other places.
Yeah. So as you said, I think the key takeout is to, when you're doing your strategy for your product, is to always include retailers and have that as part of your growth strategy. And your sorry, just to get back to the workshop as well, because I know people will be dying to get into that workshop with you. How do they reach out to you to find out more about it?
So it's productdevelopmentacademy.com. There'll be details about that going up soon once we have the timing. And what happens is there are, just like this, there are shows for gift and independent retailers, and those are part of another type of way of getting into retailers. We talked earlier about sales reps. That's what occurs with that. That's going to be in mid-January, either in Las Vegas or Atlanta or Dallas. Don't know yet which, so we don't know the exact dates, but we'll have all that detail up. So we actually go through 2 days of training and an event. So you actually see the event and you see what it takes to launch and sell there at the event as well. So productdevelopmentacademy.com, and we'll keep all the information. We will put the information up as soon as we have it, but we will keep the PROBX 500 coupon active. So
Yes,
we'll keep that active through the end of the year. How's that? So that's a nice long time.
that's
And
great.
people can see it and use it and save $500.
That'd be amazing, Stephen. And once you have it up online and it's ready to go, let us know and we'll share it with our audience as well. So everybody can
There we
jump.
got hand waving back there. Over here, this is cool. This is someone who has greeting cards, and each of the greeting cards have all of the requirements needed to make a little cake in the microwave. So you have a
I love
tiny little
it.
birthday cake.
That's
This
cute.
is the fun stuff that they have here. It's let's do something
Great
that's
branding.
different and unique. And hold on a second. I'm going to walk over here because I don't want to bother them. But if you see over my shoulder, the two guys are talking to a woman in a reddish top, and
Yes.
she was just asking about case packs, which is something I talked about with you guys earlier.
Yep.
She's a retailer. She's pointing out the ones that she wants. They're making a sale right now behind me as we're talking.
That's so
I mean,
exciting.
this is the
Exciting.
real life. This is real making money. And when
Yeah.
it works, it's not just one sale.
Yeah.
The retailer's going to come back and buy more and more. And I know what they're talking to her about right now. They're talking about her shop and where the pieces would fit in her shop and the type of customers. And they're closing the sale because this is what we teach. We teach them how to do all of this. And then they'll sign her up and
Yeah.
they'll get the stuff sent over to her from their 3PL and collect the money. In fact, Amazon, you have to wait however long until you get paid. With retailers, no, they want the product, they pay, they get it. It's not more complicated than that.
They will pay upfront for the entire quantity.
And shipping.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
In sign me up. That sounds amazing. It's like it really does feel like a no-brainer. It's just getting in front of the right people and being in these types of environments, like you say, or getting into finding a sales rep or a distributor who can work for you.
Yeah, and it's and to do products that are different. The retailers want to show. I'm going to turn around and show over my shoulder here. I love these guys' products. They didn't even know I'm on a podcast right now. So you guys are on a podcast. Check these things out. These
That's
things go together, and they make houses and forts and toys.
material.
That's it. So you would get that there. So your folks, if you know, don't. The idea is unlike Amazon where you're trying to copy something. If you have a good product and you believe in it, that's what you go with. That's what you launch.
Yeah.
The you know what scooters are for kids. Check this out. This is like the coolest scooter ever. Look at this. It's a ride on or a stand on for kids. This is wonderful.
Wow. Very
But
innovative.
you don't have to be an inventor. My first product that been really, really successful, my first $1 million product, and I talk profit, not sales, by the way. When we talk at the Product Development Academy, everything's profit. So my first $1 million profit product, I got into Bed Bath and Beyond of it. That was just pillowcases. So, two pillowcases, split the bed. One is for people who let dogs sleep with them in the bed. One half said the dog sleeps here, the other half said the wife sleeps here. And the very edge said the husband sleeps here, squished all the way in. And people love it. You don't have to be able to invent those amazing scooters. You just have to do something that's differentiated enough so that people don't feel it's competing with the next thing. It's not going to cannibalize. It's fun. Customers want it. It's the right price. Bingo. That's it. And I'm walking down here again because I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't want to give away. I don't want to interrupt them while they're selling. But if you can see all in the back there, the two of them are talking right now. There's a woman with the red hair and the red top.
Yeah.
And right now they're figuring out exactly how many products they're going to order. And here at the show, it's lots of little things you need to learn. That's why I help people. But if they order here at the show, they get a discount because it's a show special. That encourages them to make the order right away.
That's
Plus, there are bonuses. Like if they order $2,000 worth, then they have half off shipping. So if they're looking at our stuff, that's okay, we're going to order about 1,500, 1,600, and they say, well, if you go up to 2,000, you get half off shipping. Then they bump up the amount of the order.
That's amazing.
The other thing is, if you look around, and I'm getting show over my shoulder here, these are really cool products. But if you look, there's not just a single product. They have an entire product line. Because retailers, if they're going to buy one, they'd rather put three on the shelves because that customers see more credibility and they'd rather buy if there's a choice between three different things. So if you're doing a garlic press, then you also have a can opener and a, I don't know, whatever else. That's a product line. So you want to have more than just a single product. But we talk about all of this during our workshops and in the Product Development Academy and everything. So
that sounds amazing. And I think that's a great place for people to start if they need extra guidance and expertise, such as yourself, to help them through that process. And it feels like really this retail, the sky's the limit. I can see that there's so much potential for expansion once you get your product into some retail stores to go even further.
This thing is just, I'm going to turn it around. It's just,
yeah.
All of these are people selling to retailers. Now, you and I know that I go to China a lot. I know a lot of factories. I can tell you that amidst all of these companies, there's only a small handful of Chinese factories that are competing. So when people talk about, oh, I'm going on Amazon and that I'm going to be outsold because some Chinese factories are going to turn around. Chinese factories don't know how to get into retailers.
Yeah,
they know how to get in Amazon. Yeah. Most of them have someone now in their factory who's trying to get stuff sold on Amazon. And these days, frankly, a lot of Westerners are coming and helping them. But they don't know how to get into retailers. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's
that's a really nice bonus as well because you don't have that fear going on. So I'm just walking along here. I know I've got some other of my my Shark Tank clients here as well, but it'll be a bit of a walk to get down to them. Let's see what we can do.
We're out of time as well. We're just on an hour right now.
I'm going to let you go. I'm going to show you the coolest thing here, though. The coolest thing here. All right, because this is for toys and for kids. You got to check this out. You see that? They have butterflies.
Oh, it's butterflies. I was wondering, is there like some sort of nature thing in there with leaves, but it's actually
a nature thing.
Wow,
it's
that's great.
Butterfly.
Is it like
grow
your own butterflies pods?
You grow your own butterflies. Incredible. So, that just takes the level of toys and takes it even to the next step.
Just said, haha, my kids have that. So it must be.
Thank you for being patient as I got to show you around the toy fair and talk about it for a bit.
Totally, like absolutely mind-blowing. And just, thank you so much, Steven, for sharing that with us and sharing your knowledge and giving us that inspiration again to really think about this area, because I know many Amazon, many e-com sellers don't really see much outside of the online space, and this really is feels like the next frontier for a lot of people, and it feels a bit more.
It's the natural next step.
Yeah.
So you do well, make more money, make more sales.
Get to the fairs. It would be great to actually get a list of all the events that are happening for all those niches in the
That's
US
just,
around.
frankly, just Google it.
Yeah,
There's there's if you're in Australia, if you're in Australia, for home and houseware and gifts, there are shows in Sydney in the winter or springtime, summertime for you guys,
yeah.
and then Melbourne and the other part of the year. I was there last year. I was there last February at the shows in Sydney. They were at the ICC and at the Olympic Park.
Yeah.
Um, they're all over. Just what is your niche? And just Google trade show.
Great way to start. Awesome, awesome, awesome info. Thank you so much, Steven. Really appreciate your
This
time.
has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like how much fun just to hang out as well with all the toys in the
Oh,
background. And just a reminder to guys as well, that code, if you want to get onto the workshop, is PROBX 500. And Steven, you'll have the details up soon on the Product Development Academy website, and we'll also notify
absolutely.
you guys via our email list as well once Steven lets us know that it's live and ready to go.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you
So
so much again, Steven.
I'm going to say goodbye because I have more clients to see
Yes,
over here.
go for it.
But this is so cool. All right.
So
Take
cool.
care.
So much fun.
Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Steven. Bye.